Is it recording? Yes, it is. Okay, now, so I'm going to go out to my screen and we're going to talk about some things that are coming. And together we will enjoy that desktop over there. So, coming soon to a theater near you, as they would say. What is it? You know, I've been talking about it for a few months about hosting. Why is hosting important? Well, I happen to know that many of you out there have websites and things that are up, and you end up forgetting to pay for your hosting. And oh my goodness, one of the results that come from that is that you no longer have access to what you have it hosted. Some of you had your own domain name and your website for your business, for your pleasure, for whatever it may be, and you lost it because of hosting. Well, we are going to be making available for you to have your websites hosted, right? Whether they're done by transfers or you just upload them there, that's what we're bringing to the table, okay? I'm gonna tie some of this stuff together in a moment. As you have questions, feel free to ask because I will comment. I am not shy about giving you my feedback or opinion about anything. I've talked about the new page builder. As we were pushing hard to finish in in September, there were some finishing touches we needed to put on that relate to the WordPress plugin and the advanced users. We wanted to make sure it's for the simple users, but also the advanced. Using the Beaver Builder technology, we really wanted to employ the things that really will give you the advancement where you are. So I'm gonna have to mute you all if I get more feedback. Number 3, new layout for the autoresponder, right? The updates to the autoresponder, to our funnel builder, and to our membership site, membership suite, those things are also included in this October release. Now, probably something that's gonna be more exciting for you, not so exciting for me, because I believe that every time a company or an entity or an individual dumbs things down so far that it enables or it fosters a dependency environment. And I don't want to do that to you because it limits how much you can really make. Because here's the thing. Before I share this fourth one with you, I'm going to look at you in the eye for this one, okay? I got to look at you for this. I want to look you in the eye for this. There's a statement we use, those of us that travel abroad a lot, right? And the statement goes like this. If you can't make it in the United States, don't go anywhere else. That's how good you have it. Most Americans don't know that. You know why? Because if we lose our jobs in the United States, you get unemployment. If you lose your arm, you get Social Security, right? If your father or mother passes away when you're a younger child, you'll get Social Security. If the government makes mistakes or if there's a pandemic, you get a stimulus. You get a cost of living raise every year. You get workman's comp if you're in an accident. So what happens is the country that led the world in new innovation and was responsible for more than 60% of all resources around the world no longer is. Because we fostered an environment of people who had everything going for them. They thought they needed more. They always want more. That's my challenge with accommodating you on the last thing I'm getting ready to share with you. Now, I know a lot of you here don't live in the United States, but you need to know that. Because some of you are thinking, what? You guys offer all that stuff? You don't know it. But when you have both legs, both eyes and arms, and you still need someone to do it for you, you don't realize what you're doing. You're weakening your disposition. I am better at business because no one stepped in and rescued me. I'm better at it. It doesn't matter that I'm African American. It doesn't matter that my family grew up poor, that we come from a poor background. It doesn't matter. Those things help me. So as the company does all this for you, you have to look back no less than 24 months ago. There was not a company in the world that's going to give you 100% of all that you do. So my fear for you is that your optimum is getting ready to be a little bit lower. The best you could possibly do is going to get lower, right about now. So bear with me if you will, because I am going to do it, because I think sometimes you have to allow people to trip over their own things. And I want to make sure I can help you to understand if you trip, maybe you're really going to become better at this and understand the principle. Remember, I'm the guy that told you guys, if someone wants you to pay for their way in, don't do it. They deserve an opportunity to be very good at what they do. And they can't do that if you're babying them, if you're doing all the work for them. I've told you that. Don't pay for it for them. Don't do it. Don't sponsor someone for them and give them away. You're not helping people when you do that. You're weakening them. You're hurting them. By the way, is that understood? Do you guys understand that concept? If you understand what I'm saying, and if you're offended, I don't mean to be offensive, but put a comment or number 2 if you get it and understand it. If you get it but don't like it and don't understand it, it doesn't matter. Give me your feedback, because I'd like to know. I'm speaking truth to you. Most owners won't do it. Most owners are going to tell you whatever you want to hear just so you can make them richer. I have businesses that I use to make money for us. I'm trying to help you all out. Let me see what you're saying. Let me look at the chat. You do. Okay, good. Glad you understand. So let me help you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add in October monthly dividends in BTC. I don't recommend it. The reason I don't recommend it, many of you, I've heard you tell people that the reason you should pay your monthly is because the company needs to get their money. That was not what it's about. It's more about understanding what it means to pay your dues for where you live, where you work. Could you imagine owning a restaurant, but you ask them to let you stay open and keep making money, but you don't want to pay the rent? It's kind of foolish. Some of you pay more for your car than you do your house, but yet you won't pay $20 for your own business. To me, it's quite foolish. You will pay it if you're getting some of the money back. I just say it's all foolish, because here's what I know. Here's a principle for all of you to share. Won't you walk with me? How you do anything is how you do everything. And if you can't make it the way we've done it, me giving you money back from the $20 a month, is it going to change anything? You just don't know it yet. How about that? I'm helping you here. Did you catch what I just said? If you weren't already making a fortune, giving you some of the revenue back from the monthly isn't changing anything. When you're going to do, you do. And that's just the way life works. So I want to help you, but I don't mind. I think it's going to sweeten the pot. And I think some of you, the lights are going to turn on and you'll realize it, and this is going to help you. That's why I went through it. It will help you to see, you know what? I still have to dig in and make these conscious choices about my business. And now I can see it because he did this for us and nothing else has changed. You're going to see that, but I'm going to make it better. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to release the details till probably week 1 of October. Week 1 or maybe October 10th. I haven't decided. When we do the releases, I'm releasing the new residual. And it'll pay through probably 7 levels. Okay? You guys saying stuff? I think somebody's saying something. But I pray to God that you get the principle down. That life is like a can, you get in what you put out. Life is about sowing and reaping. If you want to reap where you've not sowed, don't be foolish. You're not going to get anything back. If you didn't plant corn, you're not going to get corn back. You want to grow a great income, you apply yourself to your business. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about strategy so I can really help you with your business than just giving you things. I'm not a big believer in just giving. I'm going to give now because some of you need to learn the lesson that the things that you require to be successful, you already possess. Now you get to find that out. So allow me, if you will. Hot diggity, dog diggity. What you set in motion stays in motion. You should know that. I want you to know that, rather. Not you should know it. I expect you to know it the next time we bring it up. So let's take a look. We're leaders here. You're here a part of the leader circle because you want to learn to lead. And you can't lead if you're not leading in truth, right? You're just making noise. If you lead in truth, what the truth is so powerful, it's independent of you. It's now independent of your stature. It has more to do with the spoken word, or it has more to do with the principles that are being shared. So now, that being said, I'm going to share with you 3 elements that are necessary for a strategy as you grow your business. 3 of them. They have to be included or it's not going to work. The first of these elements is that of time. Some of you are more worried about the monthly than you are having this element of time mastered, or target. Time is number 2. Targeting, the specifics. The targeting is essential. You know, when I was in the military, my first sergeant would say, Golden, if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it every time. And how right he was. Some of you, you wake up and you get to posting and surfing, but there's no strategy. You have no target. Your brain needs specifics, because you're going to hit nothing every time if you're not aiming at anything. You have to give it specifics. Did you know if you tell your brain that you want to be happy, do you know that it's never going to help you? You're going to have to do that on your own. If you tell your brain, I just want to make a lot of money, that's too vague. Your brain can't participate. It doesn't know what that means. If you tell your brain, I want to lose weight, you're going to get help from somebody, but it won't be your own brain. The way the brain is made is that it requires a specific to be engaged and to help. When you tell yourself, I got to lose 5 pounds by Friday, oh my gosh, what happens? Your brain participates. When you're sleeping, when you're sitting in traffic, you get all these ideas, it starts to work on it for you. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, you have to write it down. That's the way it gets for me. But when I'm vague, I get vague results. Some of you have vague results. You didn't even know why. You did not include a specific. I got some folks on YouTube wanting to get in. Do me a favor, Jose Alfredo Loomis. Could you go out? Well, never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll do it myself later. So give your brain a target, and the target has to be specific. And you need to do that immediately. Yeah, and I'm going to help you with type of targets, but you need to make sure that you include this. If you're going to lead people and go somewhere and let them see that you're having results, it will not happen. I'm guessing, Amar, if you're here, you probably said, I have to reach 300 points to qualify for the contest. Then when you reach it, I have to stay in front of people, so I have to keep moving to get points. Your brain started giving you ideas. You began to apply the principles that I'm talking about. The first one is targeting. It's one of the elements needed for your success financially, your success in stature, your success as a mother or a father. You need to start including actual targets. How they look, they're specific. They are very specific. And when you do that, you write it down. You keep it handy. For me, in my phone, if I showed you my notes, there are tons everywhere. If I show you my task, I don't let a day start without them. I will not begin a day without knowing what I'm supposed to do the next day. My brain has got, it won't remind me if I just tell it, I want to get a lot done tomorrow. Not enough, right? That means I can't just randomly, I better send someone an email. I better create a Zoom link. Don't forget to meet with so-and-so. No. Before I lay my head to rest, my targets are set for the next day. Someone says, Dwayne, how do you manage these different companies? And I was just asked a week ago if I would become the executive director of this Foundation for Pennsylvania for sickle cell disease. My wife says, will you be able to do that? I'm like, you know what? That wouldn't be tough. I just have to make sure I edit. I include it in my targeting. I have a lot of target practice. I have things on whiteboards. I have more. Sometimes you might see whiteboards behind me. You might see if you're ever with me like I was with some people on the weekend, You may see my journal where I load up. I keep these all the time with me. And in these journals, I don't do anything by accident. I target stuff. And whatever I do, even creating Ingreso Cybernetico was written down and targeted because it won't happen otherwise. I want you to understand if you're going to be great at Ingreso Cybernetico or anywhere else, as a leader, you must target, you must do it, be specific. You need to do that immediately and you want to write it down all the time. I mean, I'm so bad, I'll put it in the glove box of the car, in my bathroom mirror. If I need to make sure I'm targeted, it's got to be on my mind. You need to do that. It's an element. This is essential. Write it down. Get targeting in there. It's a must. Now, when you target, some of you don't know this. Here's a principle. If you're ready for the principle that I'm going to share with you, type in the number 2. This one is key, and I've said it before, but I want you to hear them so much that you actually know them. Here's the principle. If you're going to do well with this, people seldom, if ever, make more than what they think is a lot. Some of us, the reason we always produce mediocre results, what we think is a lot is impossible. If I told you the kind of money could be made in 1 day or 1 hour, most of you would be in shock because that's way above what you think is a lot, right? It'll sound irresponsibly hyped if I told you, if I share with you the kind of money that comes in 1 hour, you'd be shocked. So in order to get to that space, I had to change what I thought was a lot. And here's what that looks like. When I was a young man, I was taught in grade school, high school, right? I was taught that you want to grow up and you want to make at least, you want to make like $100,000. That's a lot of money. And then I was told you want to have a house with a fence and a yard and a dog, right? You want to have a family. And I was told that's a lot. Well, if you do that, you're ultimately successful. Now, I don't know about anywhere else. I live in America. That was taught. So that created a huge middle class. People became middle because their dreams were wiped out when they were given what to think. What I thought was a lot had to change if I was going to be a great entrepreneur. So I had to get to a point where I said, I want to be able to make 100,000 in 1 day. I had to get to that. Now, to a normal person, that sounds irresponsible. You'd have to be a scammer or a liar to do that, right? People seldom, if ever, make more than what they think is a lot. You have to target yourself with things and realize no number's too large. No idea is too small. If you understand this, type in the number 1. Because I want to make sure before I move on that you get this. You have to change your paradigm. If someone asks you, why did you get into business? Well, I really just like to have all my bills paid. Guess what? 2 things. Your brain's not going to help because that's not very specific. Number 2, that's not a lot. Heck, you could do that waiting tables. You have to change what's a lot. Stop saying that. You do want more than that. You might, but you've been conditioned to think if I could just survive. You will never thrive if you're stuck trying to survive. Stop trying to survive and insist on thriving. You're in a leadership circle for a reason. Leaders say thrive or death. They don't want to survive. They want to thrive. I don't want to just be a drone and walk around. I want to live this life that I've been given. Just in case I die before my next birthday, I'm going to live it out. So in football, we call this a prevent defense, where they just want to avoid losing. Trying not to lose is the worst way to play. You have to play to win and win big. You can't do that if what you think is a lot is already very little. Ooh, how did I say that? So we got to change that. Let's get back to the elements because I only gave you 1. Targeting. Can you see now the value of having a proper target? Can you? I trust you can. Just remember, you better change it if it's very low. If all you want is to get by. If in fact what you want in your target doesn't shock the people around you, it's a clue that it's probably too low. If people think you're crazy, it's probably getting close to being high enough. That's what I had to learn. I launched a business in 2005. By 2007, I was at a point where it would be nothing to make $70,000 or $80,000 before lunch. I'm not lying to you at all. But that would have never have happened had I not changed my paradigm of how I targeted. I hope this is real for you. But let's move on. Thank you, Robert. I love that. What's number two? What's the second element, Dwayne? I'm glad you've asked. Does anyone know what the second element is? I said it earlier. It's time. Woo-wee! Unbelievable. Here we have, because of poor time management, we have busy people who accomplish very little. We don't get the elements of time. Anything that's ever been done great, it was done in a time frame that matched the target. The target and the time frame, they were synchronized. So always use a specific time frame in which you'll achieve your target. You know what's interesting, Christina? There are a lot of people who have set a great target and they give themselves forever to get there. I'm going to explain to you how unreasonable that is. Anybody here single? Is there any ladies here single or guys? If somebody's single, type in the number 0 because I want to be able to help you. I'm going to give an example for you. Okay, Robert is single. Okay, wow. Okay, well, a lot of single folk up here. Mary J. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. Could you imagine this? You're dating someone, you like each other, right? And he or she says, "I want to marry you." That's as far as it gets. One day I'm going to marry you. Now let's say we're both already over 30. 31 comes, 32, 33, 34, and I still have that thing in front of me. The time frame is, guess what's happening over time? My desire for it now is diminishing. It's diminishing. Time frames are essential. I think about the Bible. You know, God says, hey, look, Noah, you better build an ark. You got this much time. I'm going to make it rain 40 days, 40 nights. He gives them specifics. He doesn't just give them specific. He gives them time frames. Everything in life has time frames. You know what I love? You know why I like to do the contest the way I do? I get to measure how well you guys understand this second element. You got 30 days and you have specifics of which neither are managed well. There are some specifics that can get you 10 and 20 and 15 points on the board before you even sponsor anyone. Most didn't even pay attention to the specifics because they don't understand the elements. Then I went a step further. I said, you got 30 full days to do it. That means if you log in once a day, you're going to have at least 30 points on the contest. Some of you, on average, log in on about twice or 3 times a week. I mean, I'm telling you how to achieve stuff. I lay it out so you can achieve it. And you get so busy. Hey, watch how this works. My brother used to tell me, my brother, he's a pastor, he says, if you're too busy to do things you should do, you're too busy. And I'm here to tell you, many of you are too busy to achieve that legacy for your family. You're too busy to even get there. I just arrived from Las Vegas this morning at 7 a.m. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to come home and sleep. But watch how powerful this is. My boss says you can't sleep yet, Dwayne. Do you guys know who my boss is? Does anyone know who my boss is? You can take a guess if you don't know. Please, somebody guess. Oh, no, I'm not. If I was my boss, I'd be in bed. I would not be here with y'all. I was on an overnight flight. I would not be my boss. I'm not my boss, actually. God's my boss. He's my creator, and he's made me a steward over this stuff. But here's who my boss is. You remember the element number 1? The stuff I put in my whiteboard and my targets, right? And my task mask. Oh, you can't even see this. Oh, I guess it's not showing. My boss is my schedule. It's in control, not me. If I lived that way, I wouldn't get anything done. My schedule is created based on time frames and targets. I can assure to achieve more than my peers because I will let that run me, not my emotions, not my fun time, not my habits, not my busyness, my schedule, because I understand the schedule represents targets and time frames. If you only have a target, you're not even halfway there. If you only have time frames, you're missing the point. But when I include my clock and my target, who can stop me? What can stop me? I just given you a clue on how to win anything. You can go to any company you want and win their contest, find out where the points are made, and do it. Do that first. Then you can start doing the other stuff. That's one thing. But watch this. This is how you manage compensation plans. Use targeting and time frames. What most of you do is you just get busy. If someone tells me that every person that I sponsor, every other person I sponsor, I keep 100%, and my sponsor gets the rest, I'm going to team up with my sponsors and let's make a mint. Let's make a mint. I'm going to follow you every time I cycle. So you and I both, let's go. Every day, let's sponsor people at this level, this level, and this level. Let's do a Zoom. Now, in 30 days, now I want just now, in 30 days, let's break it down into 4 elements, four compartments. Every 7 days, let you and I make sure that we got 2 who get 2, who get 2, who get 2. That's what we do. Now, we have to set some criteria. Let's set targets. Let's set targets because we know what it means for us. Watch how powerful this is. Here's what I did as a leader. I'm telling you, because this is a leadership call, I got to give you the leadership way. So bear with me. For me, Dwayne Golden, I would work with my sponsor. I say, let's look at the 475 for starters. I don't care where people are to participate. We're going to have an incentive. Just get 2. Someone is going to get 475 back. We're going to do a drawing because every time you get one, your name goes into the drawing, but you have to have 2 to qualify. Me and my sponsor are going to give it away. Now I've got a question for you. How much are me and my sponsor going to make? If in fact, we have a team of people that are all doing the same thing. And at least, let's say we only have 5 people that get, watch this now. What if we only have 5 people who get people at the 475 levels? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycling levels. Do we even know what that means? We don't do the math, so we can't target. We don't respect time frames. So if it takes us forever to get there, no wonder our families don't respect what we do. We've been doing this thing for so long and still not seeing results. We're doing it without strategy. There are 3 elements needed in strategy. I've given you 2 already that should change your life. I've given you 2 elements that should already oh my God, I get it. How many of you here, just giving you the targeting and timing has really already helped you in some way? Type in number 3. What's crazy is I was talking to this group in Las Vegas this weekend. I mean, this past couple of days. And I told them, you want to become great at something? Learn the fundamentals. There's only a few fundamentals to anything. And if you can learn the fundamentals, you will soar. I'm giving you the fundamentals of how to do network marketing. Comp plans work this way. Stare at a comp plan long enough, find out what time frames you need to make them happen, set the right targets, and you can create a fortune. I was talking to another group. This group's looking at the $1,500 level. What I mean was the 15, that's $2,475. They recognized that they only need so many cycles on that to create what they want. So to get $9,900 a week, they're looking at what they have to do. I'm like, that's what a good strategist does. They're not random. One of the reasons it's hard for some of you guys to choose what level to work on, because you haven't changed your paradigm of what you think is a lot. That's where a lot of you are stuck. Then you force on others that paradigm of what you think is a lot, and then you give them the diminishing concept of what to focus on. You signed me up. You didn't give me a chance to tell you what I would do. You told me what I should do. You didn't tell me to start at the highest level I could. You got me starting at 25, which is fine. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to break the bad news to all of you. You can make good money, make it $25 over and over again. You want to create a fortune? You tell people the truth. 25 is just the beginning. As soon as you can, you upgrade. Once you make $75, put 50 back in and start up. I'm telling you, there's no money down there. Honesty is the best policy. I don't want any of you to be mistaken. Your fortune will come from you applying principles and not following your emotions, not following what everyone else is doing. Be willing to be different. Be willing to be crazy to people, but you get it done. Let's get back to the time. I just got on a tangent. I get excited, as you know that I do. So let's go ahead. 3 success elements. We talked about targeting. Now we're looking at time. I've told you to use a specific time frame, right? Now I'm going to tell you, I recommend 6 months to 1 year. What does that mean, Dwayne? Here's where I'm going to put the jelly on the lower shelf. If I start with a network marketing company, I'm going to give myself 6 months to be at a specific average amount every month. That's how I work. Now, at a company like this, if I still worked a job, I would put myself at a point where by the end of the 6 months, I want to ensure that I'm making at least, let's just say, at the end of the 6 months, I want to be making at least 60 grand a year if I have a less than par job in the current market, right? However, watch how powerful this is. My targeting is going to make me do that at a minimum. I will be pushing for $9,900 a month. That's what I'll be pushing for. And I'm going to get there from the first ladder, the first step. Here's what I tell my people, my team. I've always taught this principle. Whatever you come in at with this company, that's where you come in. Don't take any more money off your family's table. If you're coming in at the bronze level, come into bronze level. But don't take any more money out of your pocket. Earn it. We will build it together. I will work with you. Together, we will make it. How will I get to 99 a month? Well, I'm going to use 2 and get 2 because I do realize you plus 2, them plus 2 will get it. The formula was created based on time frames, and no one uses time frames. Most of you just lead with numbers. You lead with a dollar amount only, and it's isolated, and it's very weak, and therefore it doesn't produce the outcome you want. You plus 2, them plus 2. Guess what everyone can do? Most human beings can count to 2. It's interesting. The average network marketer does twice of 2. They do 2 for a year. You tell people to get 2 of 2. Oh, in 6 months, we're all getting 2. But my goal is to get everyone to get 2 their first week, and I'm going to help them. Put me on the phone with them, whatever you got to do. Make sure they see the presentation, get me on the phone. Whatever you got to do, we're doing this. I'm a builder. If I've got to work 40 hours a week, I don't want to do that anymore. If I'd rather work 20 hours a week doing this, I'm going to work it. So I recommend 6 months to a year. By the end of 1 year, I would expect to be at $150,000 to $200,000 a year in any network marketing company from the very first time I start. And I won't get there working less than I did on my job. It's the most amazing thing. People have fought for years. Here's what's interesting. Check this out, Milton. People have worked for years to one day not have to work anymore. And when they get a business, they put less effort, hours, time, and money into their business, and they expect it to pay them more. I've never heard of such a thing. You know what you're looking at here at Ingreso Cybernetico, CoinLogic, or our other companies? right? Or a blockchain company, all that stuff. You have to understand that took a lot more hours than my job ever took. A lot more money than my job ever took. It took a lot, just supporting and serving you requires more from me than that did. Someone lied to you when they said, when you get network marketing, everything's gonna fall into place. You don't have to work much, no recruiting, no signups, just pay us your money. I'm sorry, I get excited. Let's go back out. So now, I'll continue. I recommend 6 months to 1 year. What is your target? Make it, and it better be something greater than what you think is a lot. You gotta raise what you think is a lot. What else? Use measuring resources. Here's how you measure, right? Measure. Here's a great measure device. How many of my team members are on the silver level, right? My goal will be, I know one of the ways I'm gonna make money is making sure I can help them to get that far. How many of my members are specialists and the e-commerce levels? I need to make sure I can help them become managers. Let's go. Become a manager by Friday. Let's work together, blah, blah, blah. You work and you target your people. You're training them. Remember, I told you guys about development, which I didn't get to yet. So we've got targeting, we've got timing. This third one now is it's apparent because I talk about it a lot. It's training, it's the development side. Did you know when you start targeting and you use those same strategies with your team, you are indirectly training them on how to do it? Training is the most important residual part of your growth. It's the most important. I got a question for you. Okay. How do some of you feel? How excited are you about doing your business and just had a great training, but the last 2 days we haven't had any? How inspired are you? How ready are you? How equipped do you feel when you've been a couple of days since we've had one? Anyone answer? You can use your mic if you want. I want you to get why this works. You know how you feel when we haven't had one of these trainings? The reason you feel that way is because training is the fire. It is the piece. It is the piece that will separate you from your peers big time. And if you are not a trainer, don't feel bad. You got trainers somewhere within your team and the company has it. But you want to make sure you're training people with your process. When I did network marketing, I trained people how to recruit. I never ever tried to present the opportunity to people. I let the system do it. I never do that. The system, either they're going to come to a live presentation or they're going to go watch a video, but I'm not going to sit there talking to them in the grocery store about my business. They're not going to hear it. They're not going to get the company name and they're not going to get what we do. They're going to be encouraged to go if they want to know. Because if I use the system, when I'm recruiting them, I'm training them how to do it. Most people are going to feel intimidated, like I could never present. Since that's the case, don't let them experience it. Let them go to a formal one. Does that make sense? Let me stop for questions because I know I talk fast. And Jackie, I know you'll set me straight. I get a little nervous when people get a little too quiet. So you guys, are there any questions or comments about what I'm covering right now and how to establish a strategy? Comments or questions? I got to make sense.
It's brilliant. Thank you, Jane.
Okay, you're welcome. So then I ask, what are some of the things you guys suggest that you can do to improve upon this training concept? Because duplication doesn't come without the training. You're not going to find an apple that has oranges on it and pears and grapes, and apple's going to have apples. So if you're a person that always violates the system, the people you bring in are going to violate the system. If you're quote unquote a leader and the people that are in your team know more about your company than you do because you hardly ever log in, don't worry, I can see when you guys log in. I know when you do, so I'm talking to you. If your team members know about what day something's happening or how much you get at this level, and you don't know it yet, you have to know as a tree bear, as a fruit bearer, you're going to bear some bad fruit. No wonder you can't duplicate. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a nice way of saying it. I'm just trying to be frank with you. You don't have to know how to do everything, but it's your business. This is supposed to pay you a fortune. How can you let the people who you're serving know more about what you're doing than you do? You don't have to become a techie at all. You at least need to know how to point and where to point people. If you really think finding a new company every 90 days is going to make you rich, yeah, you probably missed the point over the last 5 years. It hasn't even made you remotely wealthy. It doesn't work. But there are some things that it does work. I'm giving you the basic fundamentals of wealth building. I'm giving you wealthy principles. Didn't you know that one of the reasons poor people lose their lottery money so quickly is because they don't respect time frames. They don't know how to. They don't know how to target. If you target it, well, I tend to have this much money grow over this much time. There's none of that exists. So if you're going to duplicate and you have a strategy that works, you have to raise your own bar. I'm going to tell you, stop being so busy. It doesn't make sense to me. You're like the guy that says, I want to be a doctor. He goes to pre-med, and his first day of medical school, he's showing up at the hospital like he's trying to work, and he didn't get the information yet. And you're like the school teacher who does an internship, didn't get a job yet. She's showing up at school like she's trying to teach, and she didn't get all the goods yet. She didn't understand how to break down a lesson plan yet. Some of you, you're off to the races, and there's nothing wrong with it, but get the goods. I introduced you to some of our people from here. I've got more to introduce you to, but the one constant thing you're going to see, they were hungry and they got the goods first. And ever since that time, they've not needed to chase money. They unbusied themselves so they can get the goods. I hope you guys are getting this, because I believe you are a special group. And the reason I decided to work with a specific group in this concept of leadership is, it's the one thing that's missing from our industry. Right now, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is starting up with a new thing, and they make it so sexy that everybody says yes. And then when there's a hiccup, everyone says, oops. Then everyone deflects and says, it wasn't me, they did this to me. There's no responsibility. The person who does the shamming says it wasn't me. You don't even know who I am. The people that get shammed say, it wasn't me. They made me do it, right? Nobody takes responsibility. I'm teaching you wealth-building principles that has the stick-to-itness. You can have expectations in who you become in the process. You can have expectations on what you're going to make. You can have expectations on all the outcomes that are reasonable. That's why we do this. Let me see, if I had someone interested in joining but did not want to join under me as he did not think I was a good leader. Well, let me tell you this, Jason. We can talk about that. One of the things that happened there is they didn't want to join you because they probably went outside the process. If they'd have gone to the video and watched it and clicked on the link, they would have been joining your team or your username and not you personally. If someone says that to you, they don't know if you're a good leader or not. You could flip it on them. Hey, look, I know the owner. I'll get you on the owner. I'm directly connected with him. I'll do a three-way call. Whatever I got to do, you do it. You tell them you're going to get leadership. You do whatever you got to do. Use me. All of you here, use me to the best of your ability. I'll be here for you. I'm a busy person, but if you schedule it, because that's my boss, I'm going to show up for you. I promise you that. No one wants to develop because real networkers actually achieve real wealth through others succeeding. Everyone wins this way.
Should I say what I was trying to say? Basically, I'm just saying that people just want like quick, fast, let's make money. But what they're doing is they're actually just losing money. They don't want to develop themselves. They don't want to, become who they truly can become. And that means helping others succeed as well as succeeding yourself. That's what I meant to say.
Well said. And congratulations, Noreen, on
Thank
winning
you.
the training or second place in the contest. Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Back to your comment, as human beings, we deserve the benefit of the doubt because we get on this treadmill. Most people that get suckered in don't know that that's what's happening. That's why I do these type of trainings so that people can have the reality slap back into us that your thoughts do matter and you are responsible. So it's not about making a quick buck. That hasn't worked. Has that worked for any of you here? Don't tell me you don't do it, right? If not all of you, most of you do the quick buck thing, and it's turned out to be a low, long buck. Oh, I'm the first one in. I'm joining under so-and-so. Oh, I'm going to join under so-and-so. I'm going to join this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And you come back when it comes to making real money, the first thing you think of is, I know you're giving us 100%. Could you give us some of the $20? I don't get. So I know what happens. You just get stuck on the Ferris wheel so long, you don't realize you haven't taken responsibility for your business. That's when the money starts. When I began with responsibility, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I got a chance to look at Dwayne in the mirror and say that no one else is at fault. That changed everything. So now I offer you the same opportunity. Giving you 110% you can make a difference. Heck, I can give you 200%. The truth is, until you are ready, you won't build true wealth. I can give you 200%, and trust me, being rich is a byproduct. It's an outcome. It's an outcome that's based on specific residual actions that you take. And until you start taking them, what I give you in commission isn't going to be the difference maker. I don't know if you all, do any of you get this? I go to conferences around the world and people pay me tens of thousands of dollars to teach them what I've been teaching you. You don't even know that. And the first thing on your mind, you want peanuts. I'm going to give you peanuts. But at the end of the day, when you're ready to build real wealth, I'm here for you. I mean that. So now, 3 elements are needed. Who here is going to start applying them? 3. Who's going to start targeting properly? By what is it that I really want, not what I'm trying to be satisfied with. Could you imagine, ladies? Your mother says, what do you want? Well, I just need a man, just somebody that's a husband, just a man. You'd never do that, right? You know what you want. You say, oh, I want him to have broad shoulders. I want him to smell good, right? You ladies, you know what you want. Can't you do that with business? Guys, couldn't you do that? What is it you really want, right? Brother, what do you want in a woman? Well, as long as she's female. No, you're not going to do that, you man. I want her to have long flowing hair, right? I want her to, I want her to be able to cook. I want her to be able to sing, whatever it is. Let's be real. Why do you dumb down your business by taking everything that comes along the pike? Every cheapening act, everything that says it's a business, you just jump in and you feel like you're getting rich because you had 1 payment or 2 payments and you realize 2 months later you're starting over again. Why? I want you to stop the ridiculousness. I'm trying to help, baby. I want to help you. Target. Let's go back and look at the screen with the target. Let me finish the training. I got to put training and went nuts. God, forgive me. Sheesh. Okay. Training is the most important part of your residual growth. This is the true catalyst of growth, and it goes through many depths. It's not just the first 3 levels. Some of you, when I bring in the residual pay-ins next month, you're going to be making a lot of money every month because every time someone on your team pays, you're going to be getting some, right? When that happens, the deeper you go, the more we're going to give you on that. You're not going to get a lot of money off of the first 2 levels. You're going to get a lot of it when you go deep. Well, when you do training, whether you're taking them to your training or someone on your team, or you plug them into this one, you make them start reading, right? Whatever it is, you're going to see the depth. Now, all company residual components, watch how powerful this is. All of them are based on the success of your team and group effort. Training is essential. If you have everybody doing different things, no wonder you have been going crazy and going nowhere. Everyone in your team has their own different strategy. Oh, how could that work? Didn't you know what a movement is? When people are doing the same things, using the same language, the same mission, the same vision, that entire worlds are moved. That's what a movement is. It's not a movement if in my household, everybody's going their own separate ways and doing their own separate thing. But it is a movement when we are acting as one force and create a synergy. When we create a synergy that gives us power above other individuals who are doing the same thing. Targeting, that's the first one. You want to be able to set your targets. If you aim at nothing, you hit it every time. I would not let a day go by that I don't have a target. That's me. And I know what my targets are before I wake up. If you are random, if God's given you a brain to live like a human who you can determine the canvas, you can determine how the painting comes on the canvas, and you live like a German shepherd who lives off instincts and smells and hear things you hear. That means you decide what you're going to do today after you surf Facebook or YouTube. You don't stand a chance in this wealth building thing. You're not a German shepherd. You know, a German shepherd, a dog can smell another dog in heat from 5 miles away. That's all they got is instinct. They've got instincts and senses. You have a brain which can decipher body language, verbal language, written language. You could see vivid colors. Dogs can't see in vivid colors. There's so much you can do. How could you dare dumb your life down to being spontaneous? Building wealth is something that's done on purpose. Every case, and when it's done accidentally, it's not kept. Has no one ever told you that? Has no one ever told you that accidental wealth isn't kept? Rarely has it even achieved longer than a year. It's not kept longer than a year after. Be on purpose, and it takes effort and work. When I worked a job, I didn't have to, because all the work I put in made my company rich. So they gave me everything I needed. Now I'm the entrepreneur. All the work I put in is going to make me wealthy. Why would I do less? I'm hoping I'm hitting some nerves so that this can be a transformation for you, that wealth building has nothing to do with Ingreso Cybernetico. I'm only using it as a medium, a sandbox for you to play in. It is the principles that I'm teaching you that's going to help you to do it. Ding, 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 ding. Lights just came on. Lights are on. So now, let's be on purpose. Let's target. Set it up. Don't be lazy. Can't believe it. Some of you will surf Facebook for 30, 40 minutes and then go to sleep when you could have written down what's on the agenda for tomorrow. What am I going to do to make sure I'm making $14.25 a week doing U plus 2, then plus 2? I'm going to write it down, because now my brain can participate. My brain can be involved with me. And I should make sure that my targeting involves my time frame. This week, the next 7 days, what am I going to do? Then lastly, when I learn it, when it works for me, I tell others. I'm not a teacher or trainer. Well, I'm going to have to tell them. I'm going to call them up. I'm going to say, what's up, Christina? Guess what I did? You're going to love this. All week long, I've been writing down on my whiteboard in my journal, right, to make sure I share this presentation with, I'm just sending them the video. I've sent it to at least 10 people each day through Facebook. And if I just get 2 back by the end of the week, that means I've already sponsored 2 people at these specific levels. And already, you wouldn't believe it, I made $14.25 in the last 9 days. So I said, Christina, could you believe that? That's all I did. Let me show you how I did it. Now, I may not be a trainer on a Zoom call, but anybody can do that. That's what you call reproduction. We can duplicate now. Now, I don't have to try and duplicate something that I'm not able to do. We're only responsible to teach and train that in which we have done and do. I hope that can help. So targeting, timing, and by the way, it only works if you choose the days. I chose 7 days. It took 9, but I'm so happy I made $14.25. I'm doing it again the next 9 days. Can I share what I have written down for tomorrow, what I'm doing for tomorrow? Anybody ever here see stuff behind me on my whiteboard whenever I use it? Because it's over here now. Ever see me put that stuff down there? Anybody here, no one's here's ever traveled with me. For those that travel with me, you'll know my day's planned out. Yesterday, I spoke for 12 hours. And I spoke for 12 hours because I'm prepared. I targeted. I knew what I was going to do and say. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Lastly, train. So you can do that. I'm going to take your kind words and comments, whatever they may be. Please share with me whatever your kind words and comments are. Questions, I'll take it if you have any. I want this to be helpful for you. Whoa, that's good.
Well, I got something to say.
Who's that? Who's talking?
Byron.
Forgive me, I can't turn my voice up. I can't hear you. Say it again.
This is Oz.
Hey, Oz, how are you?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Oh, James Wiggins, you got me. You got me that time. I see your name now. It's buzzing. Go ahead.
Again, some people take this personal, but you got a saying that you can't teach what you don't know. And all I can say, I have spent a lot of money on my education and getting better, but these nuggets that you're given are just unreal. And so I just want to let you know, even for me, you haven't seen me the last couple days, and we actually have a Zoom right now with the leaders because we're relaunching our whole business with our own strategy. It's so ironic and funny.
Wow, I had no idea because I've been out of town.
Yeah,
I was with my grandkids for a while, then I went to Vegas, and I just got back this morning, so I don't even know this stuff.
Literally, what you was talking about, I have a full sheet, not everything, but a great percentage of what you was talking about. We, myself and the leaders, we're going on the Zoom now, and we're rebranding, relaunching, and coming hard. So not only was that validation, because I believe there's totally, God totally gives validation, but we need that. I need that. I don't know about anybody else, but I need that raw, uncut love. Because, when people constantly sugarcoat and give you and don't give you what you really need, you're going to only end up where you already are. And I already know where we're going to go. I know where we're going, and it's 10 weeks in here, and it's showtime. So,
well, let me say this to you and your team, and congratulations to you guys. I want you to note that you are going to have a lot more income now because of what we're going to introduce next month. There will be some edits on it, right? On the monthly. I'm not a fan of it because if I find people who already aren't producing, you can give whatever catalyst you want. The production comes from the individual. A lot of my friends who are from Africa, India, different parts of Asia don't understand that yet, right? This is some business principles, believe it or not, are practiced heavily in the UK and or the United States, but not everywhere else. So it's a hard one. I need them to be able to have the same level ground that you have. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is by allowing this to happen. It's going to give you more income, but I'm asking every one of you, when I do this, cut loose, go to work for yourselves and your families. It has nothing to do with me. You're not paying me. You guys think you're paying that $20 you didn't get that. It was not about you giving the company money. It's about you understanding business and practicing it in a way that's going to feed your families for a long time. So making changes around this doesn't help. And I know you guys might not have, did anyone catch what I said? If we gave you 200%, if you use the exact same business wealth building principles you're using now, you're still not going to build it. You have to make the fundamental changes that matter. It never was about that. People build wealth of companies that only give them 25%. You didn't know that? Did you guys understand that? There are companies that will give you less than 20% and you can build wealth with them. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about what you are. What do you bring? That's why giving you guys 100% has left a lot of people crippled. You're handicapped. You're like the Americans who have Social Security, unemployment, welfare. We got every system in the world. No other countries have that. And then pandemic happens from nature and we get a check for that. Oh my God. No wonder Americans produce least when we used to produce the most.
Right.
This is not helping you all. The more I do, that's why I want to do the training. And what's funny, the people that should be here are never here. And they're the ones that have the questions that aren't dumb questions. What's dumb is having the answers at your fingertips and always missing it because you're too busy. So for me, my wealth is I have no problem with it. I miss sleep. I'm on airplanes all night long. I do what it takes for mine. What are you guys going to say to yourself? You're going to do all you can for your spouse and your children. What are you going to give all of yours? That's where it comes from. And what you become in the process, I've done something no one did for me. I'm giving you the principles, the underlying fundamentals that will simplify it so it doesn't make you have to go through a divorce first. So you don't have to go crazy first. So you don't have to end up on the street first. I want you to embrace it and know what that means. And I pray that it happens for you and your teams. I'm so excited for you guys. Big time.
And thank you for unbusying me.
What's that?
And thank you for unbusying me.
Yes, sir. Well, that's my pleasure.
No, I mean, now the last week I've been trying to unbusy our leaders. And they'll tell you.
I've been busy myself, and someone had to take me and unbusy me. And that changed my life forever. I had to learn to be busy in the right things. I don't do that anymore. I used to run crazy and end up with little, no results. I had to stop the crap out of that. That's done. So God bless you. Anyone else? I'm seeing people here I've never met before, like Miriam, Susan. I don't know you, but welcome to the call. And Delight, what a cool name. Oh my goodness. I'd like that name. That's a cool name. My name starts with a D, but it's not Delight. My goodness. Andy, who else? Mary J, you did say something earlier. Good to meet you. Okay. Dorothy and Christina. Okay. Alan. I have seen Delight, LOL, Alan. Okay, you guys, if there's nothing else, I won't keep you all day. I wanted to share some love with you before going to sleep. I actually have one more meeting before I can go to sleep, but I just didn't want to shortchange it because normally I do our leadership on Wednesdays. And I was at a training at a place in Vegas doing a training, and I was thinking about you guys, but I wasn't able to be here with you. Okay. Okay, is there nothing else? God bless you. Congratulations, Amar and Noreen, on your work on the contest. I want to see all of you moving and shaking next month as we have our next one. And look out, we got some really cool stuff coming. Leverage it. We'll see you soon in our next Zoom. Take care.
Thanks so much.
You bet. My pleasure.